Oh hi, everything is meaningless and we're all gonna die. Happy Thursday, everyone. This is all gonna tie together, I promise. It's going to incorporate a story from my younger days, photographer and historian Beaumont Newhall, and hopefully it will support the argument that we need to create our own meaning from the stuff we enjoy. Oh, and I'm also gonna talk about the Academy Awards. So first, he humbly said, let's talk about me. This encompasses 2 years of my life. It started in grade 2, where we were all asked to write a story. Whoever wrote the best story, as determined by my teacher, would be able to go to something called the Young Authors Conference. Let your imagination soar, they said. I took the advice and wrote a story about a rabbit who happened to be a superhero. This was especially cool because they kept saying to me that you were only ever allowed to go once. This was a contest for elementary age children, and it happened only every 2 years. So spoiler alert, I won. And I got to go to the conference, and I'm sure I bought a bunch of books and believed that one day I'd be an author. Now, imagine a Rocky-style montage. Just for the fun of it, that actually has nothing to do with this story, but sometimes you need to envision a sweaty boxer while an 80s power ballad plays over top of it. So I'm in grade 4. Young Authors Conference is gonna happen again. I have no shot because I've already gone to it. So I write what was essentially a Hardy Boys ripoff, and that's being kind. Like, the estate of Franklin W. Dixon should probably be notified, which I know is hard to believe because he doesn't actually exist. I called it the Rodeo Rescuers. It was about 2 friends who'd go and solve mysteries. Man, maybe I should read some of these stories to you sometime. Siri, remind me to put that onto the future videos list. Anyway, I wrote this story and then something remarkable happened. I discovered Charles Nelson Riley. Oh, and I also got to go to the Young Authors Conference a second time. I vividly remember my teacher sitting down and asking the rest of the class if it was okay if I was allowed to go a second time. Now, whether the class actually felt that I should be able to go, or if they were simply bowing to authority, I don't know. Could be a bit of both. Or, and stay with me here, maybe Franklin W. Dixon truly does exist if you just believe. Regardless, I felt special. It's definitely not something I would have pushed to do. I was told you could only go once, and so I accepted that. I'm awful at self-promotion. I reject thinking I'm that good at anything, which in itself I realize is a problem, but you know, that's not what this video is about. I should put that on the future videos list as well. But I do wonder who the second place person was, especially the second time I got to go, where I wasn't supposed to. Who did I rob that chance from? I had flashbacks to this recently when I read this book, Art and Fear. It's a book designed to make you feel enthusiastic about the art making process and understand that it's not selfish to want to create things. Anyway, I had that flashback to elementary because of this guy. This is a young Beaumont Newhall. He wrote one of the most important books on the history of photography called, I think weirdly, The History of Photography. And I normally wouldn't have brought him up because of my long-standing pledge to never discuss people named Beaumont. The authors David Bales and Ted Orland argue in a chapter, and what made the gears start turning in my head to make this video, is that people he didn't include in that book were hurt. Even the people he didn't like were still considered to be part of the history of photography. The people who weren't included in the book weren't really discovered until decades later by what they called outsies. Outsies is also the cute nickname that millennials give to gay people. Used in the sentence, yeah, he's totes outsies. If you haven't already figured it out, I'm an old. Now, do I think that Beaumont Newhall maliciously did this? No, I don't. But it's like that devastating burn that you can give to somebody where you tell them that you don't hate them because you never think about them. And for the vast majority of us, we will not be remembered much after our deaths. 50 years maybe at the most. But stories do have an enduring quality to them, which is why I'm encouraged by some of the nominations at this year's Academy Awards. Now, I'm not here to argue artistic merits. You can like what you like and hate what you hate. But the representation of some of the Best Picture nominees is fantastic. We have a lead character who is mute in The Shape of Water, a story about a first gay relationship that's explored delicately and lovingly in Call Me By Your Name. And we have a horror film that's about the Black experience in America in Get Out. This is far different than in the mid-90s where it seemed like World War II or period dramas were the only things that the Academy honored. There are certainly universal elements that people can take from lots of stories, but there is something that's different when you see yourself projected back to you. There's a deeper connection and more resonant catharsis that you can have. So I need to wonder, in Beaumont's book, were the best truly honored? That's really hard to answer because art is so subjective. Certainly in his mind they were. I want to continue to feel special, like just maybe I could be good at something, but was I being honored at the expense of someone else? In both cases, those that were not featured were simply forgotten. Not by them, but by others. So if you find something you love, share it. Don't keep it hidden. We need to make sure we celebrate that which others seem to have never had a second thought about. Which is why finding those morsels of content that speak to you on a personally deep level are to be treasured, even if nobody else understands why. Which is the reason Tim Allen is my spirit animal. Yeah, Siri, once again, can you put that on a future videos list? However, I'm much more interested in hearing from you. What or who do you think should get more recognition? Did you ever go to a young authors conference? Have you recently been haunted by the ghost of Franklin W. Dixon? Let me know down in the comments below. Before we wrap up, special thanks to these patrons who help make these videos possible. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Kyle. I upload videos every Monday and Thursday. If you want to help me make even better videos, consider going over to my Patreon page, and for as little as $1 a month, you can support me over there. Carolyn Keene is also not a real person, so don't think you Nancy Drew lovers are any better. I'm sorry I just ruined your childhood.